3:30, time now for the news headlines as Osseo Motors in Osseo spotlights the news. Osseo Motors, home of service and low overhead. See them today for the finest in car and truck buys. News headlines, Secretary of State Rusk says Russia could contribute to East-West relations by completely withdrawing from Cuba. Anti-aircraft batteries in Havana fired at an unidentified plane this morning. Former Venezuelan dictator Jimenez was turned over to Venezuelan police today at Miami and flown back to his homeland to face embezzlement charges. Indian Prime Minister Nehru says Red China has massed heavy military forces on the border between the two nations. Take a look at the weather situation for the Twin Cities area in just a moment. Osseo Motors, Chevrolet, and Buick dealers in Osseo has a circus of used car bargains for you. Terms to suit. Osseo Motors can finance anyone, and they'll trade for anything, even an elephant. You'll find huge savings, jumbo deals, at the Osseo Motors used car lot. Can't miss it. Let the full-sized elephant above the lot be your guide. Just follow his trunk to the best used car deals in town. Take advantage of the circus of bargains right now at Osseo Motors used car lot in Osseo. They're open weeknights until 9 p.m., just a few-minute drive from Minneapolis. Phone Hamilton 5-3790 or Hamilton 5-2121 for more information. And during Osseo Motors Red Tag Days, you can get free a 5-cell flashlight, including the batteries and bulb, just for coming out and getting an appraisal on a new or a used car. That's a free flashlight during Red Tag Days at Osseo Motors. Weather-wise for the Twin City vicinity, occasional cloudiness this afternoon through tomorrow. Chance of an occasional shower or thunderstorm this afternoon. Warmer this afternoon, cooler tonight and tomorrow. Shifting winds about 10 miles per hour early this afternoon, becoming northwesterly 10 to 18 miles per hour during the afternoon, diminishing to about 10 miles per hour tonight. High this afternoon, 85. Low tonight, 58. High tomorrow, 80. Low tomorrow night, 55. Currently in the Twin Cities, 81. You've just heard the news headlines brought to you by Osseo Motor Company in Osseo. Tune in 6 times a day as Osseo Motors, home of service and low overhead, spotlights the news for you on KTCR. Once again, we'll switch you back to Johnny Long, who is remote broadcasting today from the corner of Nicollet and Lake. Johnny?
Thank you very much, Louis. Thank you very much. Well, like I said, it's really a celebration here on the corners of Nicollet and Lake. Just because there's a few clouds gathering in the sky, don't let that bother you, because we'll be broadcasting right from here on the corner, whether it rains or not. In fact, the only thing that'll move me off this corner, it'll be a tornado. I'll tell you that. Well, this 15-minute segment is brought to you by Carl's Men's Store, 3017 Nicollet, where they have the finest in menswear of all kinds. So you be sure and stop at 3017 Nicollet for Carl's Men's Store. Let's get to a record right now. Texas Bill, who is with KTCR, our own Texas Bill, he'll probably be singing this one tomorrow night for you on the big KTCR Jamboree from Convention Center. Let's Make Love or Go Home One. You were just as pretty as a picture. Look at all the people walking up and down the sidewalk down here on Nicollet Lake for the Crazy Days sale. Say, Carl's Men's Store at 3017 Nicollet Avenue has really gone all out for the big 2-day Crazy Days extravaganza. Knit shirts, $4 and $5, now just 99 cents. They're going mad over here at Carl's Men's Store. Slacks, wools and combos, just $4.99. Jackets, $5.95 to $12.95, now just $3.99. It's absolutely fantastic, and you can't afford to miss such unprecedented, oh boy, the girl who wrote that really wrote it right, unprecedented values. So stop in at Carl's Men's Store, 3017 Nicollet Avenue, for the very best in bargains in town on the very best merchandise. Somebody almost hit somebody right out here in the intersection. I just hope that nobody decides to come up over the sidewalk, because they take me and the turntables and the whole thing and carry right back. If you think I had trouble getting down there, if that happens, I'll really have trouble. Yes, sirree.
There's good music for you, the weather and news on your country and western station. So wherever you go, tune your radio to your country and western station.
which is KTCR Minneapolis, Twin Cities Radio, 690 on your dial, the big voice of country western old-time music. It's 10 o'clock time now for the news from KTCR's newsroom. A 4-alarm fire leveled a large warehouse on the Arrowhead Steel Distributing Company property near the Duluth waterfront early today. Approximately 35 automobiles were destroyed. Lost on the cars has been estimated at around $100,000. No estimate has been made of the loss on the warehouse. One fireman, Wally Pease, suffered an eye injury when he was struck by a hose. No other injuries were reported. Officials said it was believed the cars were the only things being stored and that the extreme heat made an immediate check impossible. The Minnesota Supreme Court today threw out a third-degree murder conviction and ordered a new trial for a Minneapolis youth. John Byron was sentenced to an undeterminate term at St. Cloud Reformatory in May of 1962 after being convicted by a Hennepin County jury for his part in the robbery and beating of Mrs. Ann Danielski of North Minneapolis. Mrs. Danielski, who was in her 60s, died several hours after the attack. Byron, who had just turned 18, was arrested along with 2 juveniles. The court ruled that Minneapolis detectives influenced Byron's confession by promising him that he might receive juvenile treatment or that the charge against him would be of a lesser nature if he confessed. Court records showed Byron was questioned 5 times within a 24-hour period. The court concluded the officers went too far. In another decision, the court ruled the city of Northfield was liable for the death of a prisoner in its unattended city jail, but the court affirmed an order dismissing action against the mayor and members of the city council. The suit was brought by Nellie M. McCorkle of Northfield, whose grandson William J. Fleming was asphyxiated in a fire June 10, 1961. Court records showed Fleming had been left unattended in a lighted cell in a helpless state of intoxication. A smoldering fire caused the asphyxiation. However, the court ruled that the failure of the city to provide a custodian did not impose personal liability on the city officials. The court then rejected the claim of several persons that the site of an old Capitol building in St. Paul should revert to them. The court checked back into records for 1851 before denying the claim of the heirs of Charles Bazille. Bazille donated some land to the territory of Minnesota in 1851 for the purpose of building the Capitol buildings. The heirs claimed that the Capitol was moved and that they are entitled to the land. The court says no, the evidence is insufficient. Traffic fatality. Dead on arrival at the New Ulm Union Hospital was 35-year-old Wilbert Brokert. The accident happened 12 miles southeast of New Ulm on Highway 68. The driver of the pickup and one of 3 other persons riding in the car were hospitalized. Pickup truck driver, 35-year-old Don Black of Mankato, was held for observation. Suffering facial cuts was 19-year-old Dale Bouchert and 59-year-old Max Boucher, an uncle of the dead man, and 22-year-old Tom Richter of New Ulm. They were treated and released. The death raised the Minnesota highway death toll to 430 as compared with a figure of 374 a year ago. A St. Paul man and a North Dakota woman died yesterday from injuries suffered in accidents on Minnesota roads. 28-year-old Lowell Hagan, St. Paul, died in Anchor Hospital last night of injuries received Friday when he was struck by a car in St. Paul this last Friday. 72-year-old Margaret Johnson of Hillsborough, North Dakota, was killed in a car-truck collision last night at an intersection in Hawley, Minnesota. Saturday night at Twin City Speedway at 8:30, it's professional championship motorcycle racing on the half-mile track with riders from all over the country. Sunday afternoon at 2:30 and evening at 8:30, it's the world's fastest cars, super hot rods on the world's fastest half-mile track, plus stock cars on the new exclusive figure 8 track. On the drag strip Sunday from noon to 6, you'll see the fastest 4-engine dragster driven by Hollywood's Tommy Ivo, star of movies and television. Tommy Ivo will be driving his $20,000 dragster in excess of 195 miles per hour. So for thrills, real thrills, attend the races at Twin City Speedway and Drag Strip 3 miles north of New Brighton on Highway 8. The overall state forecast for Wisconsin, mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms likely in the north. There's a chance of scattered showers in the south today for Wisconsin also. High today ranging from the 70s in the extreme north to the middle 80s in the south. Low tonight ranging from the 50s north to the middle 60s south. Twin Cities, occasional cloudiness today and tonight with chance of a few showers, thunderstorms today, mostly fair tomorrow. Little warmer today and slightly cooler tomorrow. Southerly winds 8 to 15 miles an hour, becoming northerly 8 to 15 an hour this afternoon. High today 85 and low tonight 58. High tomorrow 80 and the low tomorrow night 55. Presently in the Twin Cities we have fair skies. Barometer steady at 29.76. Winds from the south-southeast at 6 miles per hour. Relative humidity at 73% and at 69 degrees. 69 KTCR, fair sky degrees in the Twin Cities. That wraps up the news on the hour, and now it's time for Bulletin Board. It's 5 minutes past 10 o'clock, and let's see what's going on in our Twin City area. Oh, yes, we have to mention again that the play is running. Right, Dora the Beautiful Dishwasher. It's a melodrama opening Saturday, August 17th, tomorrow, at the East Side Theater Cafe in Maplewood. Now, the play will run tomorrow at 8 and 10 through September 21st. The theater is located on Highway 61 and Parkway Drive, 1 mile south of Highway 36. Now, the number to call for reservations, 774-0333, 774-0333. Early Renaissance Art is the title of one of the 9 evening courses in art history being offered this year through the University Extension Division. In addition, more than 20 studio art courses in drawing, painting, sculpture, printmaking, ceramics, and interior design for all level of competence will be given evenings in the university campus. 11 studio art courses are given with university sponsorship at the St. Paul Art Center. Registration for these courses and over 400 others in many other fields open September 9th and continue through September 18th. Extension offices are in downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul and on the university campus. For further information and office hours, telephone 373-3195. West High School, that's the evening school, will be open for early registration Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, September 3rd, 4th, and 5th, from 2 until 8:30 for those students who wish to begin classes on Monday or Tuesday, September 9th or 10th. Now, the tuition fees are paid on the evening of registration. The advantage of evening school is that in most courses the students may progress at their own rate of learning. For an evening school bulletin, call Taylor 73787 or write to West High Evening School, 2808 Hennepin Avenue, Minneapolis 8. Don't forget to use the zip code. St. Paul Junior and Senior High School students now to public schools, and those who did not complete registration for their coursework last spring should see the counselors at their new schools during the weeks of August 19th or August 26th. The students who plan their program with the counselors during those 2 weeks will be ready for school when classes begin the first week in September. The 17th Annual Trap Shoot and Barbecue, sponsored by the American Legion Post number 567 and the Crow River Sportsman's Club, will be held this Sunday at St. Michael. It begins at 10 in the morning. It'll continue until the fireworks complete the day. There'll be 68 prizes in all, and everyone is welcome. That's this Sunday on Old Highway 152, 2 miles east of St. Michael, the 17th Annual Trap Shoot and Barbecue. Just another item on the bulletin board as we try and bring you up to date on things happening and the informative things in the Twin Cities area. Now, coming up this Sunday at 3 in the afternoon, the Minnesota Boston Terrier Club will hold a fun fest at Apache Plaza Shopping Center in St. Anthony Village. Now, all the owners, breeders, and exhibitors are requested to participate, entering their Bostons in one of the following 4 classes. Novice dogs, they were never entered in competition before. Open dogs, they have entered in competition. Children with their pets. And puppy dogs, 3 to 6 months, 6 to 9 months, and 9 months to 1 year. The entry fee is $1 each. The match will be judged by John Sheehan of the Minneapolis Kennel Club. Following the match, refreshments will be served. The general public is invited with no admission charge for that dog show. That's this Sunday at 3 in the afternoon. And the final week of On Borrowed Time at the Old Log Theater Excelsior. The reservations for On Borrowed Time could be made by calling the Old Log box office at Greenwood 45951. Curtain time 8:30. Greenwood 45951. Well, today is going to be the last day we can bring you the information concerning the Christmas Seal Mobile X-ray Unit. This is the unit which finds TB and other respiratory diseases, and it is a free service to those of you who are 18 years or over. You got that? 18 or over, free service, and is available to anyone. 18 or over. Today is going to be the last day we'll be able to bring you the locations because as of Saturday, August 17th, which is tomorrow, the X-ray unit will no longer have a specific route that it will be traveling. So you take heed and listen closely where the unit will be today and tomorrow. And if you can't make it today, make it tomorrow. Make sure you make it at any rate, all right? Today, it'll be at Cedar and 38th Street. Cedar and 38th Street from 12 till 2:30 and 3 to 6:30. Cedar and 38th Street today, right down South Minneapolis there. And tomorrow, Nicollet and 39th. Nicollet and 39th Street. You got it? Good. Same hours, 12 to 2:30 and 3 to 6:30. We want you all to get your chest x-rayed. It's a mighty popular thing, and it should be done. Today, remember, Cedar and 38th Street, and tomorrow, Nicollet and 39th Street. And as usual, that wraps up the bulletin board on Ktcr Radio with that information. Remember, today is the last day we could bring you that information, seeing as their routes may change, and they are not announced. So, if your church, school, or community group wish to have an item announced on the bulletin board, send all the necessary information to Bulletin Board, Ktcr, Minneapolis. We'll see to it that we get your want ad on our little notebook here, and we'll add it into our bulletin board show following the news at 10 o'clock Monday through Friday. How's that? From Ktcr, we have a temperature reading of 69 degrees, the time at 10:10. The Jay Jensen Show in progress, and here's music.
A blue, blue day, I feel like running away. I feel like running away from it all. Told my gal I'd be on Sunday night.
New Christie Minstrels and Hi Jolly, Hey Jolly, Gotta Be On My Way, Jolly, and all that rot. Rookie Jimmy Hall drove in 5 runs last night as the Minnesota Twins bombed the Baltimore Orioles 13-3, and I don't know what I'm laughing at either. Hall also tied a club record for homers by a left-hander when he hit his 20th of the season in the 7th inning. The homer equaled the mark set by Mickey Vernon in 1954 when the Twins were in Washington. Minnesota shelled 5 Baltimore pitchers for 16 hits, including solo homers by Don Mincher and Bob Ellison as well as Hall. The victory enabled the Twins to move within 1/2 game of idle Chicago in the battle for second place. Tonight, the Twins host the Washington Senators. That's Ktcr Sports News. And seeing as we're speaking of sports news, remember, starting Monday morning at 6:45 and 7:45 a.m., KTCR will present KTCR's Sports Scope. KTCR sports information brought your way starting Monday morning at 6:45 and 7:45.
For everyday coverage of news at its best, for music that sends you and fills you with zest, stay tuned to this station. You'll be in the know with the best of good listening on your radio.